Hello there, this is a process of how I painted this painting, which is Bloodborne fan art, my favorite game. Most of the painting was made in Procreate, the final adjustments were done in Photoshop, however. I started with a few thumbnails and notes, then switched to a sketch when I was happy with that. I also used a photo I took as reference for the perspective. Then I booted up Bloodborne and took a lot of screenshots. I stitched them together into my composition to see if it would work early on. Since it is best to get as close to the final image as possible to not get lost in details. So about this painting, I wanted to merge the hunter stream, the hub of the game and where the doll is, with the city, Yharnam. The hunter stream has a foggy sky, these giant pillars in the distance and the flowers as unique features, whereas Yharnam is this beautiful city with Gothic architecture. I experimented with two versions. On the left is a more colorful version with a sunrise, whereas the right side shows a more gloomy and foggy atmosphere. In the end, I went with the left side since I personally prefer more colorful paintings, but I tried to keep the image as foggy as possible. Here I started to paint the buildings, adjusting the perspective always as I had to. I had to hide the adjustment layers to pick the colors correctly, however. In Procreate, you can establish your vanishing points for the perspective and then only draw following the vanishing points, which helps a lot to draw it accurately. I also worked then on the floor, trying to make textures out of screenshots, but that did not work out so well, so I later just painted over. Here I painted the doll. I had problems with keeping the values of each building separated to keep the sense of distance between each building, since I wanted the overall painting to have a limited value range. Basically, I did not want to have too dark colors since I want to print this later, so the values need to be closer together. When I talk about values, I mean how dark or light each color is. So buildings in the back should be lighter than buildings in the front. I also struggled with the layer limitations in Procreate. I worked in a rather large file, so I only had 64 layers to work with. These stacked easily with all these buildings overlapping and being on their own layers. Having these screenshots as a base helped me to only focus on rendering and the perspective, since I could use the already established colors. But keep in mind to always completely paint over them, just use them as a base since you don't want to steal images. I also try to change a lot of architectural elements while painting. Then I just added in more details. After being finished with the buildings in the back, I focused on painting the pillar in the front as well as the fountain. The fountain was actually quite tricky with the perspective, but I think it worked out well in the end. Then I started to give the foreground more details. Here I added the flowers and candles everywhere, even on the buildings, since these are also found in the hunter stream. If you see these random notes appearing, it's because I have the habit of drawing in notes when I stop painting for the day, so I know what to do when I open the file again. I made some final color adjustments in Photoshop. Since Procreate does not have any adjustment layers, it's more tricky to do there. So I thought this painting was finished, but actually after getting some feedback I realized I need to work on it further. So first of all, the values could be more separated, especially in the middle part of the image. These somehow merged more together while doing color adjustments. Secondly, the sky is quite bright at the top of the image. A darker cloud would help to keep the focus in the middle of the image. Lastly, the fog was a little too much and unrealistic, so I added more texture back in. In the end, I worked on these points and pointed over the image. Sadly, I did not have any recordings of this, sorry. Still, thanks for watching, I hope you enjoyed this. Feel free to leave a comment, like and subscribe for more videos like this, and see you soon!